I'm Dr. Frita, and today I'm going to give you 10 foods to lower your blood sugar naturally. Diabetes is very prevalent. Millions upon millions of people have it, yet in the United States, 1 in 4 don't even know it. Diabetes is the cause of many major complications like blindness, kidney failure, amputations. So if you have diabetes, or if you are a pre-diabetic, don't you want to know how to manage your blood glucose? Then stick with me, because today I'm going to give you 10 foods to lower your blood sugar naturally. Keep watching. Be sure to download your copy of my book. It's called Under Pressure. It's your step-by-step guide on how to control high blood pressure. This book is packed with valuable tools, guidelines, and information to help you to control high blood pressure. Click the link in the description to get your copy today. I'm Dr. Frita, an MD who has been triple board certified, and today I'm going to give you 10 foods to lower your blood sugar naturally. Now, there's no one magic bullet that's going to completely control your diabetes. You have to manage it in a multifactorial way. For example, exercise is important. When you exercise, that helps you to maintain a healthy body weight, a healthy BMI. It also helps you to decrease fat, specifically belly fat, which can be associated with poor insulin sensitivity or diabetes. You also may need to include supplements, but be careful. Supplements are tricky. You need to make sure you use them under the supervision of a physician only, because many of them are not FDA approved. You also want to manage your stress in order to lower your blood sugar. When you're stressed out, that causes an increase in stress hormones like cortisol, which can cause your blood sugar to increase. And of course, you want to maintain a healthy diet, which is where I come in today, because I'm going to give you 10 foods to lower your blood sugar naturally. Make sure that in all of your diabetes management, you consult with your physician. Now, as we get into this discussion on foods that help to lower blood sugar naturally, it's important that you understand what diabetes is and how one has high blood sugar, and you especially need to know the symptoms of diabetes. Be sure to watch my video on diabetes symptoms after you finish watching this video. So here are our 10 foods to lower blood sugar naturally. Number 1, spices. Yes, spices. You have them all in your cabinets, no doubt. You see them in the grocery aisles. So there are many different spices like cinnamon, turmeric, and so we'll just talk about a couple today. Cinnamon. Cinnamon is a spice that's actually made out of tree bark, which is actually no shock when you look at the cinnamon. It kind of looks like a tree, right? The trick with cinnamon is that there have been many studies, but sometimes it's hard to compare because different doses have been used. And some studies found that there was no clinical significance in the decreasing of blood sugar with cinnamon, but there are many studies that have shown that there actually is a clinically significant difference. So you want to be sure you consult with your physician. One study, for example, compared people who took in 1 gram of cinnamon a day to 3 grams of cinnamon a day to 6 grams of cinnamon. They compared those groups to those who had placebo and used no cinnamon at all. And in that particular study, they found that there was a significant lowering of the blood sugar. There was another study that was done. It had 69 patients in China, all who were type 2 diabetics, and they compared those who used cinnamon daily versus those who didn't. And in that particular study, they found that the patients who used cinnamon had not only lower blood sugar, they also had lower triglycerides as well. And so the thing with cinnamon, you want to make sure that you don't use too much. You don't want to use over 6 grams a day if you are going to use a cinnamon supplement, because that can lead to certain problems. And also remember that if you're using a supplement, it won't necessarily be FDA approved. So in conclusion, some of the data is inconclusive. And when there was a meta-analysis that was done with cinnamon, where they compared 10 different studies, they did find that, again, some studies showed a significant lowering, some did not. But the real key is that it may help, won't hurt, but make sure you consult with your physician, because cinnamon is possibly a way that you can lower your blood sugar naturally. Another spice is turmeric. Now, turmeric is a very well-known spice, and if you have ever had curry, turmeric has something called curcumin, which is responsible for that coloring and that kind of flavor of the curry. The turmeric is a well-known antioxidant and a spice with anti-inflammatory properties, and many studies have shown that turmeric can lower blood sugar, as well as lowering cholesterol, as well as helping with chronic inflammation. So that's one, spices can help to lower blood sugar naturally in many cases. 2, garlic. Now, garlic is actually one of my favorites because garlic has many medicinal properties, including lowering blood sugar naturally. Now, garlic has compounds that not only is it loaded with vitamins and antioxidants, and some studies suggest that it can help to lower blood pressure naturally. They can lower triglycerides, lower blood sugars naturally. Studies also suggest that the garlic can help to decrease blood sugar. Overall, garlic is just something that's really a healthy substance. Now, there was one study that was done, a review in 2015, and it did show that there was a clinical significance in the decreasing of fasting blood sugar with patients who used garlic versus those who didn't. And there was another study that was done in 2018. In this study, patients crushed raw garlic twice daily, and they were compared to those who did not use the garlic. They were compared with the placebo, and again, they were found to have a significant difference in blood sugar. Those who used garlic had lower blood sugars, as well as a smaller waist circumference. They lost more waist circumference. They had lower triglycerides as well. Some studies have been done as well that have been a little bit less conclusive. And so, again, it's important to consult with your physician, but understand that garlic is a food that may help to lower your blood sugar naturally. 3, non-starchy vegetables. Certainly non-starchy vegetables are a way to lower blood sugar naturally. Now, we're dealing with starches. We're dealing with a lot of carbohydrates, and a carbohydrate is defined as a string of glucose units in the form of polysaccharides. And when you take in a lot of carbohydrates, like the starchy carbohydrates, and I'm talking about bread and rice and potatoes, then that can cause your body to absorb the carbohydrates quickly and to cause spikes in blood sugar, which of course is not good for managing diabetes. And so with your vegetables, you want to make sure you have many non-starchy vegetables, such as asparagus. I really like asparagus. It has a special flavor to it. And the asparagus is loaded with folate, with potent antioxidants. It's low in calories. And so it's something that you can really cook in different ways, and you can fill your stomach up without having all of the excess calories, which means it can also be good for maintaining a healthy weight. And of course, maintaining a healthy weight is another way to lower your blood sugar naturally. Another non-starchy vegetable would be broccoli. And we know that broccoli is good for so many things. So of course, it can help to lower blood sugar naturally, again, by being a way to fill up, to bulk, to help you to lose weight. And broccoli also is loaded with all kinds of vitamins and antioxidants, and it can even enhance your immune system naturally. Be sure to watch my video on how to boost your immune system naturally after you finish watching this video. And there are all kinds of other ones also. Artichokes, that's another non-starchy vegetable. Artichokes are interesting. They're really an interesting looking vegetable, aren't they? Now, in order to get to the actual artichoke portion that you can eat, you have to get rid of all of this beautiful, delicate looking these pieces on the outside to really get to the center, the heart of it, the artichoke hearts. And so if you're someone who's moving around busy, you don't have time to do that, you can find artichoke hearts where all the work has been done and all of this excess, these leaves have been pulled off. But you want to be careful and make sure that if you find an artichoke heart like that and say it's soaking in a preservative, make sure that it's just water. Or if it is an oil, perhaps something like an olive oil. You don't want to be in an oil that's going to increase your cholesterol or something that's really inflammatory. So be careful with that. So preferably a pre-prepped artichoke heart that's already peeled. You want it in just water or olive oil perhaps, if you're not going to do it yourself. But yes, that's another way to have a non-starchy vegetable to lower your blood sugar. And of course, cabbage. And when you cook your cabbage, there are all kinds of ways, but you want to make sure that when you are cooking these vegetables, if you're not going to eat them raw, that you cook them as little as possible and so that you maintain the maximum nutrients. So yes, asparagus, broccoli, artichokes, avocados as well. That's another great one. It's one of my favorite, and it's a non-starchy vegetable. It is high in fiber, it's low in salt, it's high in potassium, and this is another food to incorporate in your diet in order to lower your blood sugar naturally. 4, pumpkin. Pumpkin is a glorious orange winter squash, and yes, it can help to lower blood sugar naturally. Pumpkin is low in calories, it's high in fiber, and it has a low glycemic load, which is actually different than the glycemic index. Glycemic load refers to the amount of sugars absorbed from carbs into the bloodstream. And when a glycemic load is less than 10, that's considered to be favorable. Well, the glycemic load for pumpkin is less than 3. And this is different again from glycemic index. They actually have a pretty high glycemic index. So when you're dealing with pumpkin, it's important to understand all of the health benefits. One is fiber. They have 3 grams of dietary fiber per 1 cup of pumpkins. But it's also important to understand that you do have to have some type of portion control because, as I mentioned, even though they do have that low glycemic load, they have a high glycemic index. And so if you start dealing with high portions of pumpkin, then you could get into trouble with your sugar. Now, there's something I want to mention with pumpkins, and that's that they have a high vitamin A. Vitamin A can really help with eye health. It helps to decrease macular degeneration, age-related macular degeneration. It can also help with reducing cataracts. It can help to reduce night blindness. I mention these because a lot of these eye issues are common in patients with diabetes. And so having pumpkin at a proper portion is something that can be helpful. Pumpkins also have high vitamin C, which helps to decrease inflammation in blood vessels. We know that many diabetics have inflammation in their blood vessels, which can lead to high cholesterol, which can also exacerbate the need for amputations after having poor circulation. And so you want to have vegetables that are high in vitamin C. Pumpkin is that vegetable. Now, when I say pumpkin, all things pumpkin are not healthy. I'm talking about fresh pumpkin. If you're dealing with pumpkin pie, for example, you already know that's loaded with sugar. Or if you're dealing with pumpkin puree, that may have high sugar as well. If you're looking at canned pumpkins or pumpkin seeds that are pre-prepared, they might have high salt. So you want to deal with fresh pumpkin, or you want to make sure you pay careful attention to the sugar content or to the salt content. And no, I'm not talking about the pumpkin lattes that are loaded down with sugar as well. But pumpkin is just one of those things. It's another way to lower blood sugar naturally. 5, fish and shellfish. So salmon, tuna, mackerel, shrimp. If you're dealing with seafood, this is a way to help to lower blood sugar naturally. These foods tend to be low in calories, of course, which can help you to maintain a healthy body weight, which is good for controlling diabetes or preventing high blood sugars. They also have lots of omega-3s when you're dealing with fish. They tend to have omega-3s, and fatty fish like salmon will have high vitamin D, high potassium, and they have a great antioxidant property. Some studies show that dealing with these proper types of fish can help not only to lower blood sugar naturally, but can also help to lower triglycerides. They can help with inflammation. And so fish, another excellent choice if you are a diabetic or someone who's living with pre-diabetes. 6, okra. Who knew that okra, good old okra, was one of the secrets to lowering blood sugar naturally? Okra has a specific compound, Abomuscus esculentus, which has a hypoglycemic effect, meaning that it can lower your blood sugar. And when you are eating okra, especially if you're eating it quite a bit, it really can help to lower your blood sugar naturally, which is why if you're someone who is going to incorporate okra into your diet, and if you are already diabetic and you're on diabetic medications, please make sure you consult with your physician because okra is definitely a potent way to lower blood sugar naturally. 7, nuts and seeds. So flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, pistachios, almonds. These foods are an excellent way to lower blood sugar naturally. They are loaded with fiber, with protein. When you eat these nuts and seeds, they have low calories. Plus, they can fill you up and lead to early satiety, meaning you get full faster with these low-calorie foods, so there's less room to eat fatty foods or unhealthy foods. There was a study that showed that eating walnuts could actually be helpful in lowering blood sugar. They showed that patients who ate walnuts, the antioxidants, could, in some cases, actually decrease the risk for developing diabetes mellitus type 2 by up to half. Now, we're talking about a small study. We're not talking about a huge randomized controlled trial, but in the case of walnuts, generally will be likely helpful just for a heart-healthy diet. Won't hurt, but could certainly help to lower blood sugar. The other thing about nuts and seeds is that they have been shown by some studies to increase insulin sensitivity and to decrease blood sugar levels. 8, beans and lentils. Again, low in calories, high in fiber, high in protein. Beans and lentils can help to lower blood sugar naturally. They can also help to lower cholesterol and unclog your arteries naturally. 9, sauerkraut. Sauerkraut. Now, who knew that sauerkraut could actually be good for lowering blood sugar naturally? Well, it can be. Sauerkraut actually means sour cabbage. Yes, sour cabbage. And it's a German food, and it is fermented cabbage. And so the fermentation process helps to keep the bacteria off of sauerkraut, and so it can be preserved for longer than regular cabbage. It does have health benefits. It has a lot of the health benefits of regular fresh cabbage. Also, the fermentation is helpful in some ways. With the sauerkraut, you have some probiotics which aid in digestion. And then sauerkraut is a low-calorie food. If you take a serving, a half a cup of sauerkraut, that's only 16 calories. Also, sauerkraut has no carbohydrates, no cholesterol, and it's pretty good on fiber because one serving of sauerkraut has 2 grams of fiber, which we know is another way that can help to lower blood sugar naturally. One thing to watch out for with sauerkraut, beware. Sauerkraut, even though it has all those health benefits I just mentioned, it can be loaded down with sodium. One serving of sauerkraut can have 219 milligrams of salt. And we know that in order to be healthy, in order to have a good blood pressure, you want to have a low salt diet. What does that mean? Moderation and just beware. But yes, sauerkraut is another way to lower blood sugar naturally. 10. Leafy green vegetables. I have a feeling you already knew that. And so when we're dealing with spinach, I love spinach, y'all. When we're dealing with kale, collard greens, all of these foods are low in calories. They're loaded down with vitamins, with antioxidants, with beta carotenes, and bulking up with these foods can help you to decrease the amount of unhealthy foods that you eat, can help you to maintain healthy blood sugar levels and maintain a healthy weight, maintain an increased insulin sensitivity. So yes, green leafy vegetables, another way to lower your blood sugar naturally. And there are many, many more foods that can help you to lower your blood sugar naturally. And again, there's no one way to control diabetes in and of itself. It's comprehensive. Consult with your physician, consult with your dietitian as well. It's not always easy maintaining a healthy lifestyle and eating all of these healthy foods that help to lower your blood sugar naturally, but it is important. Again, diabetes can lead to so many issues. I am a nephrologist, a board certified kidney doctor and hypertension specialist, and the number one cause of patients being in my dialysis chair is diabetes. If you found this video to be helpful and informative, please be sure to like it and to share it with the people you care about. Also, if you have not done so already, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do your best to live your healthiest, happiest life. I'm Dr. Frita.